Been great. It's been really inspiring. As an outsider, as I'm not an academic, so from the outside world, sometimes you can get frustrated with the pace of innovation and change. And so to come to a place and meet other people who I basically haven't found a person to argue with yet. And that's surprising for me. I thought, if you judged the product that's out there, you would expect all the people here to be arguing about, what should be done. There's so much like just nodding of heads, even on a panel with 8 different people with 8 different backgrounds. They overlap about 90% of what they're saying. And to me, it's all good. It doesn't mean we all agree on like what the answers are going to be, but the idea that there's almost, it seems to me like universal understanding of what the issues are. And isn't that the start, right? So to me, it's kind of inspiring to actually be here in person and meet all these people because, as I said, if you just look at the product being consumed by students, it's not an inspiring picture in general. What are the innovation needs of the consumer, in this case the student? Because it gets awfully complicated once you start adding the purveyors, because they're customers of ours too, the people who are building an institution, and they have to deal with all of these policy issues that students know nothing about. And yet those policy issues are very real. Things like policy compliance and conformance and data security. Students don't care about these things. I don't think they necessarily should. As an example of what I think a great consumer experience is Netflix. And no one knows what technology they run, right? They just expect it to get that great experience wherever they are, whenever they are, and whatever device they are. I think that as vendors, and when I say vendor, I don't just mean like a technology builder that we are, but universities and anybody who the product is educational, delivering an educational experience, you're all in the same boat. You had better deliver to meet expectations because they will go somewhere else. There was a time when there was a monopoly on educational products. That time is slipping by so fast that we're probably 10 or 15, 20 years away from ISO stepping in and saying, hey, here's a spec for a college degree. Anybody who meets the spec, here's the degree. That is a reality that's coming. And so when it comes, those people, those consumers, the students, they're expecting an experience. The standards that are being put in place, like LTI, have really enabled people like us to innovate, because without them, we used to have 1/3 of our engineering team building and maintaining plugins for learning management systems. Now it's a part-time job for 1. So what do you think the other 2 engineers are working, 2.5 engineers are working on? They're working on new, cool products. And that's incredible. That's fantastic. So it sounds boring when you talk about standards and policy, but I think to people on the inside who know better, it's as exciting as any wonderful new product. Without those standards in place, you're not going to see those wonderful products. You're just not. They're going to sit on the back shelf. There's going to be poor implementation. So standards are really, we're huge fans. VoiceThread is an application that's designed to replace text or substantially replace text in the online learning experience. We find text to simply be the status quo because that's where it grew out of. For the last 20 years, the learning management system has all been text-based because that's how the internet was. But it doesn't need to be the case anymore. If you use a combination of VoiceThread's simple to use manipulation of audio and video, it's not scheduled, it's not like a big conferencing software, it's really easy to use, kindergartners using it around the world. You combine that with the standards like LTI that allow us to work everywhere at the same time in the same way, which means there's no new professional development. You can run 3 learning management systems at the same time in an institution, and you can use our product the same in every one of them. It's really transformative.